And just about everything is like what the Native Americans did with everything they shot or they killed. Every part of it gets used.
Do y'all sell snakes to the vendors? Is that what
Yeah.
happens to most of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
We buy the snakes from the hunters. Every year we have a couple of vendors the board of directors has to meet with. They give bids basically as to how much they're willing to pay for each snake, how much they'll pay for the size of the snake. There's certain snakes they only give so much money for. You know, the baby rattlesnakes aren't going to make much money with them.
Now, do they release, like, say if it's a small one, would you release it back?
That goes back to the hunter themselves as to how much they take out. If they feel it's like going deer hunting.
Right.
If you see one, well, he's got a very big rack, I'm going to leave him alone. Whereas others, they take everything they get out of the den.
Catch, pretty much.
It really depends on how you feel about it. The main reason for the roundup is to control the population.
But they multiply rapidly.
Right.
So
If they're in the part of our area where they multiply twice a year and have 15 to 20 babies at a time, it's a good idea to get everything out of the den you can. Whereas if they're in the part that may multiply once a year, and the regular hunters are able to tell that. I mean, they go to the same dens almost every year, catch about the same amount, sometimes more snakes out of the den, sometimes less. That depends on what time of year they go. It depends on the atmosphere, the weather that we're having right now. If we were to go out hunting today, we may not see a whole lot in the den because it's warm enough they're out getting sun. It may be their time to eat. It may be their time to breed. Like I said, this time of year as well in the fall, I've seen a lot of baby rattlesnakes. You know, they're only coming out about that long. Pretty sure it hadn't been very long since they've been born.
So what do y'all do with the money y'all make from selling them then?
It all goes back into our community. JC stands for Junior Chamber of Commerce. We are a nonprofit organization. We assist in a lot of the, like the toy drives, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, the different kind of car races. What are they called? The ones with wooden cars.
Soapbox derby.
Thank you. The soap boxes. Just about every type of different event there is. We do a lot of fundraisers. Every year we have a Thanksgiving Day feed. The year that I ran it, we deep fried 40 turkeys. I don't remember how many pans of dressing we had. All the things that go along with Thanksgiving Day or Thanksgiving Day meal.
We do an Easter egg hunt.
Oh.
That's really big. That's always fun.
So everything goes back into the community. That's why we try to all the vendors we have up here, from Taco Bell, Walmart, all the things that are being sold up here at the Roundup, all of our sponsors we try to keep locally. One of the biggest reasons the JCs took over the Roundup from the farmers and ranchers was to bring people in and help our community businesses. It wasn't for our profit, it was to bring, thanks to the Roundup, we've got new motels going. We've had Walmart come in, we've got Brookshire's went from Winn-Dixie to a bigger chain store. We've got so many other things that, thanks to the Roundup and other events that we hold, have brought people into our community. And that is one of the biggest things Chamber of Commerce is about. Of course, we are as well. Because it all goes back to where we live. It helps us out. Instead of having a community that's just going downhill, we've got people. Yeah, everything goes back into the community.
Plus,
Cool.
Education.
Right, and that's one of our biggest goals here at the Roundup itself is education and safety. There are other Roundups that do some really ignorant things, and I don't encourage attending any of them.
I've never been to any others. What do they do?
Last year I listened to one on the radio. I think they gave $2,000 away to someone that could stay in a sleeping bag for 15 minutes with a couple of rattlesnakes in it, and you get so much money deducted if you get bitten.
Oh my God.
Okay, so if let's say for example, they're going to give you $2,000 to stay in a sleeping bag for 15 minutes with a rattlesnake, and you get bitten, they take $500 away. That $1,500 is going to go towards your emergency room visit.
Yeah.
So what was the point? Once again, being bit is a life-changing experience from what I understood that I don't want to go through.
I can imagine.
I don't know why someone would take that chance. I mean, it's somebody off the street that has no real knowledge of the rattlesnakes, or they wouldn't be getting in the sleeping bag or the bathtub or the pit with them. And of course, these people advertise it so you can come across that kind of stuff, but that is something we really discourage. I mean, we can't really downgrade them for it, but it's discourageable. I wouldn't encourage anybody to go to it. One of the other things we've had, and we go to Austin every year in February to go speak before the House, meet the governor, our representatives to this area, other senators, because this doesn't just affect Nolan County, Sweetwater. This is over Fisher County, everywhere in West Texas. We even have rattlesnakes coming up from the Corpus Christi area. We have had different organizations, environmentalists, believe we're making the rattlesnakes go extinct. Anybody that believes that, I encourage them to move out here just for a few months, especially this time of year in the fall when they're starting to migrate. We have had the Texas Parks and Wildlife jump on board with us, so they're able to tell the population. One of the things going on in the research pit, they tell the length, the sex, the weight of the snakes, so we can tell how much of the population we're actually bringing in, how many, what the minority, if there's more males than there is females, or vice versa. Like I said, you really can't tell the age of the snake by looking or by counting the rattles, so we really can't guess. Since all the snakes are dumped into one pit, this hunter brings this one, this hunter brings some from this area, we don't know exactly where they came from or what they've eaten, so how long they've actually been alive. All we can do is study the size and the weight and the sex. That's one of the biggest things. Like I said, Texas Parks and Wildlife has gotten on board with us. There have been a few, I don't know the name of them, there have been a few environmental organizations that if the light bulb finally came on and they realized, hey, they're not going extinct. They came out here and saw the big population, how quick they're multiplying, and how they are migrating into town. And so that we get to go around to different schools, ag mart events, things like that, where we get to talk to the students especially. My kids brought up out in this area. I've been doing these demonstrations for a long time. They know that, I can do this kind of stuff. They know that I'm teaching them. You see a rattlesnake, you stand still, you start yelling out for help. Daddy picks them up, you don't mess with them. So